let's go about good and bad and continuing good and bad. Because good and bad, we started to think that if we know more about good and bad, then we don't judge people, right? As if we know more what's happening in anything, like Chris is angry and don't feel him. I'm saying you shouldn't be. Then he tells me the story. Then I said, okay, I'm angry now too. Why this happened then? It's one of the most important virtue in life is comprehend someone out of ourselves. Comprehend wife, comprehend colleague, friend, mom, dad, or someone else. Comprehend, when I'm saying comprehend, I mean, because we see them, we don't comprehend, right? Comprehend means, I don't know if it's the right word or not, Chris, but comprehend from my view is exactly I feel what you feel, I think what you think, I understand you properly. When you see a tree, just like tree, you know what tree is? You don't know it. You can just describe the shape of the tree. That's all. And then when I see Akil, I said, okay, now, yeah, I know him. It's like this. I said, no, that's not knowing. That's not understanding. That's not comprehending, right? That's just the face and the shape. Usually, our understanding on earth is only the shape. That's all. So, okay, yeah, not but trees. It's like that, going down, leaves. I said, no, not at all. That's not knowing. When we know truly something or comprehend it, then it would change. And there should be a way to comprehend things which is not us. The easiest one is wife or husband, right? Which everyone says that's the hardest one, but really it's the easiest one. Because when we live with someone, we sleep in the same bed, eat together, just most of the day are together. How I cannot comprehend him or know him well? Then everyone said, no, that's very hard. He's getting angry or she's getting frustrated or he's like that, she's like that. Then I said, okay, let's go and, okay, that's not an easy one. Yeah, okay, let's go comprehend the tree now. Isn't it enough? I tried to comprehend tree a few times. Maybe I had a bit of success, just a bit. But it was very hard there. Then I decided to just know my wife. That's good. Okay, let's go through the why we want to know is good and bad. I'll say something from Quran, just very short one. God said in Quran, we created day in the night and night in the day. Right? You know that? How that's possible? Can you create something in something? It's not exactly we put night in the heart of the day and then day in the heart of the night. I don't know exactly the English meaning, or I don't remember even Arabic. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, can you read it in Arabic and then English?
I think the verse you were talking about in Arabic is يُولِجُ النَّهَارَ فِي اللَّيْلِ وَيُولِجُ اللَّيْلَ فِي النَّهَارِ. I'm not an expert in Arabic, but my understanding when reading that was God creates the day into the night and he creates the night into the day, something like that.
Yep. Okay. Can you now someone tell me what God is talking about? In Farsi translation, like people talking about, yeah, that's very clear because the God is after the night is after the day, and the day comes after the night. I said, wow, that's a very, very important lesson God gave us. That we know that. That doesn't need. The God tells in the Quran that, yeah, after night, day come and day, the day, night come. That's very important to know. That's very, very deep meaning. Why God says that I put night in the day and day in the night. That's a very weird sentence, but very, very important lesson. There is a few other places in Quran too, and also in Bible too, but I don't remember them, and I cannot explain them or recall them. But I want to go through a lesson which hopefully end up to this weird sentence. Okay. We want to talk about mind, but because the mind is part of this universe, and very important part of this universe, right? I want to go through the creation first. The big creation, let's start with the creation and the rule of the creation. The most important rule in creation called duality. Everything is dual, right? You cannot find anything which is not duality. Let's talk about this duality in detail in creation and then in ourselves. The simple part is, yeah, even God created human, but still it's dual. It's just man and woman. They're not the same. He could create only man or woman, but he didn't, because the creation is dual. The creation is day and night. The creation, can you talk 5 sentences or 2 sentences which doesn't have the duality? You cannot talk if you remove the duality. I'm saying it's good if you have this cup, it's cold. Said, it's not hot and it's not bad. Right? We recognize the words by duality. It says, okay, this is good or this is bad. This is peace, this is war. This is all the words we can use, but comprehending is the good and bad, or one side or the other side, or night or day, or light and darkness, right? Short and long. Can you describe someone with not a word which it wouldn't be into the duality? It would be very, very hard. You cannot say easily. Now, what about the body? Even the body is duality. Breath, inhale, exhale, right? Eyes, nose, most of the even body. The most important part, the brain, left, right. The whole body is left and right based on the brain. And the funny thing is, it's in the brain if you breathe through the left nose, that oxygen is going to the right brain. left, right, goes to the left brain. Hands are going to that or to that. Everything is dual. That's very important lesson. It takes usually 2, 3, 4 years to comprehend what is the duality. There is no possibility of anything which doesn't have the other side. Human has divine part. Can a human have only divine part? No, it's not possible. They all have the darkness part. They can grow one or the other. A tree has the up part and down part. Everything has different. When I was studying duality, something interesting happened. I realized that children, sometimes they don't understand the duality when their brain is not grown enough. Then my first and nice experience I had was with my niece. She was, I guess she was like 7 years old or something. Then I was going Iran. She came with my brother to airport. She was young and she was very happy to see his uncle. And then she started talking to me when we were going home in the car. She asked me the question, oh dear uncle, how long you are staying here in Iran? I said, 4 weeks. He said, uncle, aren't you telling me how long you are staying here? I said, 4 weeks. I want you to tell me. I said, oh, maybe she's too young. She doesn't know week. I said, like 28 days. And then she's still insisting me to tell him how long I'm staying here. I was just getting crazy. Doesn't a 7-year-old child doesn't know even the day? How should I tell him how long I am staying here? And then through the comprehension of someone else, which I learned in the spirituality, I said, okay, I have to comprehend what he's talking about, what she's talking about. How should I tell a child how long I'm staying here? Then for a second I closed and I asked God, can you tell me what she's talking about? And then I got the answer right away from comprehending her. I said, oh, I'm staying 4 weeks. And then he says, 4 weeks. And then the funny thing was, because there was no motivation, there was no tone. Because 4 weeks for me is just 4 weeks. It's not, it's long or it's short. Is it enough? Is it less? Is it more? For me, just I was going there to teach students, and it was not like, I can't say it was boring, but it was not very exciting too. It was just no duality in my speech. And then the kid didn't know 4 weeks is long time, good, or bad. It's only 4 weeks. No, 4 weeks. It was too much different for her. And then when I said, 4 weeks, and then she was happy, she said, wow, I have 4 weeks now, my uncle. If I could say only 4 weeks, then she was going sad. She was going to be sad or happy based on my response. And my response didn't have any emotion, right? And she was getting crazy. Why are you telling that you don't tell me that how long it takes? And that was very, very good lesson. I said, wow, 7 years old, because that was the first time she was experiencing an uncle coming from like foreign country or far from home. And it was very exciting, but how long? Is it good or is it bad? Should I get? Then said, wow, the emotion coming from the duality. Okay? We just doing the emotion event. Emotion is created from duality. Everything is created from the duality. Let's go. The duality is the first principle of creation. The complete name is the duality and relativity. Right? It says everything is in duality and everything is related, comparable. Because when you say this is white, right, it means it's not black, yes, but how much is not black? You might have 5% black inside this white, right? That's called relativity. It's relative. Everything it's compared to something else is a bit darker or white or lighter, right? Everything would be like that. Now, the funny thing is, when we have day and night, there is a moment which day, like, and night are equal. What time is that?
Twice a day, though, right?
Twice a day, yeah.
Twilight?
When it's kind of sun setting and the sun rising.
Sunset and sunrise, yeah, exactly. That time, sunset and sunrise, you have kind of darkness and light together, right? You have half light, half dark. It's an equilibrium between the light and dark. It's equal, right? And that's a precious moment for some religion, like Islam. They're talking about, okay, that's a good time, good timing, for example. There is a few time which is more sacred. It's always whenever there is equal. Like, for example, the amount of the day and night when it's equal. Then
12 hours, 12 hours.
yeah, like 12 hours, right? You have enough. That's called even sacred. Because they said, okay, it's the nature is equilibrium or imbalance. Nature is imbalance because both sides are there. All right? Okay. Now, everything starts from these two sides. Let's imagine a human. It would be impossible, but imagine a human is 100% dark. There is no light at all in anyone. And should he try to spirituality, religion, or any help? It doesn't mean anything, because if it's 100% dark, then cannot be. Spirituality is not for a person which is 100% dark. Okay, let's imagine now 100% light. Does he need to learn the spirituality or religion or anything? No, because he's light. He doesn't need to learn. All right? Which we don't have these two type of human. Anyone comes to life would have by nature forcefully the two sides. But spirituality is for a person knows that relativity he's bad, relativity, he's good. And there is everyone in different fields, bad and good and bad. And then you want to change that. That called spirituality, right? When you know you have the both side, when you know we are selfish, we look for, I don't know, we have like gluttony, we have greed, and all that stuff. And also, we have a good heart. We want to be good. We have a heart at the same time. We have that and that, both together. Right? Okay. Now, let's continue the very, very nice rule in a different angle. The duality, day and night. We call this law the law of pendulum. It's the same, right? Relativity and duality, it's a pendulum. You go this side or that side. You just swing from one side to other side, from other side to this side. You happy? Change the name? Doesn't change anything, right? Okay.
I guess you can call it scale, but pendulum is just a good scale.
Scary. Okay, let's call that, and then I come here to 2. Let's call here day, night. Then, I don't know, dark and light. Let's start with the day and night, which is simple. Right? Okay. 12. Okay, here is day. And here is night. The balance, the equilibrium, where is it? It's in the middle, exactly. Okay, the interesting part is when you have this pendulum, where is the fastest speed for this pendulum? In the middle, right? And you see that the whole day is sun and the whole night is moon, but the equilibrium is just a few minutes. It's the shortest one. You just pass. Make sense? Okay. The slowest part is this side or that side, right? Okay. Probably, let's call this night. Then it would be, here would be what time? Midnight. Let's call 12 p.m. No, a.m. And then call here 12 p.m. Okay. Now, that's the pendulum of the day and night. Now, an interesting part is, I want to explain it in a different level, which I want to get to that verse from Quran. And when start here, it's like 0 speed, right? And then start going fast. It get here the maximum speed, and then go slow. Then it's starts here, right? Okay. But why this movement? Look at the forces instead of the movement. Now look at the force. When the day is pulling in this pendulum, right? It just pull, right? and then gets this pendulum into the day. Then it's habit. Then it doesn't need to force, right? It's just like, oh, I have it. I'm day now, full day. That moment, why it loses? Why it lose the pendulum then? Because other side, push now, right? Pull, but yeah, sorry. Other side, pull the pendulum again. When it's here, when the day has the pendulum, or this spot, then the night pull it tightly with all powers, pull it. And then it just goes there. When the night has it, then the day pull it. Right? Isn't it? Okay. Then if in unity, if you have it, no one else will get it. It's always there, no movement. The movement, which in creation, the movement is created even everything. Everything is in move, right? You don't have anything which doesn't have movement. Planet, the stars, even like I have my tea here, all the molecules of the tea is just moving now, the electrons and protons, everything is moving. If there is no duality, there is no movement. Because I get the pendulum and then I stay here forever. But it doesn't, right? It just changes everything. Then someone else will get it. Which that would be, now, if I'm a day and I have the pendulum like this, then night pulls the pendulum, right? With all the forces. Now, there would be one question. Let's call this one light and now that one darkness. And you want to do the pray. And you want to do pray in the forces of light. When in this pendulum would be the forces of light maximum.
In the middle.
Wrong, 12 p.m. wrong, in the middle wrong. There's only one option actually. You can be right, try. Where we should be the forces of light. That's just the physics. The opposite. The forces of the light is when the light has the maximum pulling. Right? That's the reason they call it midnight. The midnight is the most forces of the light. All right? Make sense? Okay? Now, that's called duality. Every time one forces is active, in the opposite. The force is always active in the opposite. The opposite forces is active in the negative. Have you seen yin and yang? Yep. I'm not sure I can draw it nicely, but let's see like that. One is, yin and yang is duality, right? One is like darkness, one is light. But there is a very interesting part, the dot. In the darkness, there is a light dot. In the light, there is a darkness light dot. Sorry. All right? That's a duality. Exactly the same thing. And then it says the dark is going to light, and the light is going to dark. All right? That's another topology of the dark and the duality. It says the duality, but it's changeable. It's always changeable. Light goes to dark, dark goes to light. That's a complete method. That's a pendulum. Now, probably that's usually it's like I'm going to make an example of the emotional. Have you had any like hard moment or a very, very big problem in life that's like emotionally you break down and then you start like crying and internally or externally crying. And then you go through the middle of night of the problem, not the night. And then you start, it just like could take day, weeks, months of a problem. And then suddenly a light inside you just like bloom. And then it said, when you get through the troubles in darkness, you start, usually people, if you're religion or spirituality, you start like praying. And then suddenly one prayer, it's like bloom. And then it changes your heart. And then you said, wow. And then from the other time, then you sleep well and then it changes everything. Have you had that emotionally? You should. And should happen a lot. Smaller or bigger, it should happen a lot. Right? Even sometimes a marriage could go to that point and then you change it. That's still a duality of I'm just trying to remember another verse from Quran. The explanation of the verses is we put a bad in the goodness and a good in the bad. But I don't remember the verse or even the exact meaning. That's interesting because that's the way we work here. That's the whole thing happening in our mind. Now, everything I explained. Now, tell me, now it's clear why the day is in the night and night is in the day? Isn't it?
Because they're constantly moving into each other. If one comes from one side, the other one comes from the other side. Or if it's a pendulum, one is always pulling and the other one is always pulling back. Yeah.
Exactly. It's always the opposite force is pulling. And that's called the day and night. Because the day and night is inside each other. In the day, there is a night. In the night, there is a day. And that one is pulling now. And the other one is pulling now. That's the creation system, and first principle in the world is the duality and relativity. Relativity means that I'm here now, or I'm here, or I'm here, right? It's just ours. Then we talk about relativity long time in a few years. But I want you guys to reflect on, we don't have much time, on the duality and how now our brain and our mind work with duality. That's the universe, right? Let's leave universe out and just go back to our thought now. A thought is exactly has that and has that. Every thought has the duality. Mind is dual. Now, as soon as I'm saying, I'm saying Akil is a good student, right? As soon as I think about Akil is a good student, then my mind says, okay, really? Let's look at his like hair, how he sees it, then the mind starts to finding the negative. Isn't it like that? If I'm saying it's bad, then the opposite starts. Even the mind it's designed to be thinking the both sides. But the problem is the mind, when the mind is imprisoned into the duality, then every problem and suffering started. I'm saying that, no, I'll leave it for next week. I want you to think about this. Where do you suffer based on the duality? And how suffering can be less when you don't have the duality? And that's a very, very important point that God said that marry together and in opposite sex. That's very hard because everything is dual. Now what I feel and what she or the spouse is feeling is totally different. I'm thinking something and she's thinking something else. I can start an example. In life, I'm thinking of, for me, because now let's go another duality, very nice internal duality. It's not part of the lesson, but I'll use it as an example. Emotion and mind, right? What you have emotion, it's like more inside us. But I'm using the man and woman word for the duality, like negative and positive. But negative not as negative. It's the pole, right? It's the two sides. Emotion and mind is more men, emotion is woman, right? Okay, man is designed to think. It says, okay, man says, okay, let's eat or make this tea, because mind is creative and needs to create something. I'm saying, okay, let's make the tea. I was very, very, internally in myself, I was very man. I was not woman. I was saying that, okay, let's make tea. Then, okay, we don't have gas. Let's go buy gas. And then I was doing everything. And then I was making the tea. And then I was not enjoying it. And then I said, okay, now I make the tea. I was not even drink it sometimes, or just drink it quickly and go to the next thing. Do the next thing. And then before finishing the next thing, I was thinking, okay, what could be the next step then? Still, sometimes I'm like that. Say, okay, I have class. Okay, what should I do after the class? Because the mind is always wants to do something, create something, fix something, change something, fix something, right? But the emotion part is a bit different. You fix the problem, you build a house as a man, and then as a woman, you go stay there and enjoy the house. But if you are two men, right, too much of one pole, then you build a house and then you say, okay, let's go and build another house. Let's go and do another one and let's do something else. Never you can enjoy what you've built. If you're two women, right, you said, okay, someone give me a house I want to enjoy. And then I'll sit there and I want to enjoy my life. Now, however, a man, real man or real woman, they have men and women inside. A man has man and woman inside the two pole, and the woman has the same. Now, sometimes men are woman-like, sometimes woman is more men-like. Right? we are talking about the two pole. Let's, for not confusing you more, let's call the mind emotion. Mind wants to fix, but it doesn't rest. It wants to work. Emotion can enjoy, can be happy or sad. Now, if a mind works and then give time to emotion, and then emotion works, rest, enjoy life, and then go another mind project, and then mind works, and then mind give time to emotion, that would be equilibrium, right? But if someone, man or woman, it doesn't matter, has one and he doesn't have the other one, or the other one not this one, then it would be in trouble, right? A woman sometimes, when the mind of woman is too busy, then always start, even if she's not going to work outside, if she's, let's imagine even a housewife, you said, okay, you're a housewife, just enjoy life. But if his mind is busy, he start cleaning the house, spend all of the time in the house, working, not enjoying, not feeling the emotion. Even a woman can, in the house, be all men all day. And then man comes home, she's angry. Because she spent every resource she had on the mind, not in the emotion. Right? Or sometimes could be opposite. The duality of the moment, this duality is inside us. Every little of everything we have, even one thought, which I didn't go deep onto that one yet, but now I want to feel that if a man has mind working well but doesn't feel emotion properly, he would be in trouble. Especially if he's two men and the wife is two women, there would be lots of conflict, right? If a man is not really 100% man, it's like 80, 70, 60% man, and a bit of emotion, and a woman works, thinks perfectly, and like 60% a woman, then easily these two can sit together. It wouldn't be hard, right? And in future we talk more about this, but now let's think about the duality, how much everything is dual, right? And the body, the heart, even, right? The heart is, and now the thing is that when it's dual, which one is good, which one is bad? Inhale is good or exhale? Day is good or night, right? Both needed. Depends on the goal, which we talked about last week. They're both needed. It's a part of the construction of the humanity or creation. The movement, the darkness, the light they was needed because they needed to be movement. The movement is the most important part which creates. If there was no movement, there was nothing alive, right? When you say something is alive, it means that it moves. You happy with that? Anything moves or changes, it's alive. Okay. Then for creating even soul inside the creation, they needed to create the movement. But in a way, that movement is everything in the universe. Are you guys interested in astronomy?
Yes.
Yes? Little bit?
Curiosity, but not really.
Mm. Do you know how much is our speed right now?
Probably very fast.
I think it's 30 mile or kilometer per second. Just the surface of Earth by the movement into the solar system. And do you know how much is the solar system speed? Hopefully I'm right. 200 kilometer. No, sorry, 200 meter per second. It's very, very fast. You cannot, I have to check the numbers. I'm just a bit confused now. But in a way that no vehicle, no airplane, no spaceship can move, even like Earth. The airplane from here to New York takes like, if it goes directly from this side to other side, it takes more than 20 hours. But the Earth going in 12 hours. If an airplane goes up and just stay there, wait 12 hours and then sit down, it would be faster. I don't know why you move, but anyway. Yeah, if go to space, wait and come back. Just the 1,000 kilometer, which is the layer of the Earth. If we go 1,000 kilometer up and stay 12 hours and then come back, it's much faster because the Earth is moving too fast. And now the speed is 30 kilometer per hour. It's a lot faster when it's moving through the solar system. And the solar system is moving too fast. And now the Milky Way is moving very, very fast. And now this all big stars and creation, they're all moving so fast. If I could, I would ask them, where are you going, guys? 200 million galaxy. It's not even easy to think of 200 million, which is unbelievable, right? But everything moves very fast, and everything created by movement, and movement is created by duality, right? Then you cannot remove the duality from creation. The creation is dual, which is okay, which is good. Now the purpose of duality, you have to think, it would be your homework, why we have the duality. Mike, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of the duality? How can you use of the duality? How duality can help you? What's the self-realization then? How we should know ourselves based on the duality? The duality is very important. I taught it in a very simple way and fun, but you have enough time to think. And then layer, we just talk about a bit more on duality. We come back to duality again.